everybody? Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. Your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. So let's get ready to rock them in there. My man, Michael Sean, is in the building as we wait for talent. Mike, how you doing?
What up, big homie? What's going on?
Nah, man, just trying to fight this cold. Trying to fight the cold. My man, Maurice Smith, is in the building. Mo, what's happening? How you doing?
Man, I'm having all kinds of problems today, man. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties. My laptop decided to do what it wanted to do. I don't know, man. I gotta pay my child support, I guess.
Yeah. That's how you usually be. That's how you usually be. So it's time to get the stories out. When we left the air on Friday, because we haven't been on the air since Friday. There's a lot of news that jumped off, man. So I guess the biggest news we have to start out with. Hold on, before I even start out with that big news, because about the Kyrie Irving trade and everything else. There was an earthquake that happened over the weekend, Michael Sean, and Christian Atsu, my man Talent's jumping into. What's up to you? How you doing?
What's good, Cam? How you doing?
How you doing? Christian Atsu, who is a track runner and everything else, he's from Ghana. He was in Turkey, and the crazy thing is he was in the rubble and he was pulled out of the rubble, Michael Sean. Now this is like an amazing story because he's an athlete. He was an Olympic contending athlete too. Because he was an Olympic and he was built and everything else, that's what saved his life. Like if he had been skinny like me or something, he would have died. But he got pulled from the rubble and everything else, and it's an amazing story of how he was able to live and fight this. Mike, what's your take on this, bro?
God bless him. Like I always tell myself there, like if I was in a life or death situation and physical things had to be done, could I actually get them done? I'm like, nope, I'm dead. Like
yeah.
Like I just put circumstances like that. I'm like, well, what if and the building started, and what if I had to carry I have 3 daughters. What if 2 of them couldn't walk? Could I carry them through the desert to get to the water? And I'm like, nope. We just have to sit down and be like, we love each other, say a lot of prayers. Daddy ain't built. So God bless him, and God bless the fact that those people were actually around who had enough courage to not go for self and just take care of themselves. A lot of people would have just been like, I'm safe, so I'm good. So salute to those people who helped grab that man out, and God is good.
Yeah, I try to tell you. T, I don't even know what the actual number of people who died and everything else, but him being one of the people who lived has got to have some kind of meaning to him and his family. What's your take, T?
It's amazing. It's a miracle. God bless him, man, because we always hearing the bad. We don't get enough good.
Right.
This is a heartfelt story, man, that somebody, lives. I think we all pray for stuff like this to happen. We all think of like even stuff with like plane crashes. We think like automatically everybody's going to die. So when people live from a plane going down, like you feel more hope than anything. You know what I mean? So this right here is hope that, there's more people that's going to be pulled from the rubble.
Right. And Mo, you want to add on to this, man? Because at the end of the day, let's look at it. It's simple. Athletes saved, instead of hearing an athlete getting killed. I think it's pretty cool story. What you think?
Yeah, it's a blessing. Not many of us get to see a second chance. Second chances don't come every day, man. So like they say, live your life, live every day, man, like it's the last, because you never know. Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away.
Ain't that true? All right, so let's jump into the biggest news story, I think, of the weekend, man. As soon as we get off the air, Mike, on Friday, Kyrie Irving gets puts in the news that he gets traded, and he gets traded to Dallas over the weekend. And I think going to have a lot of repercussions to a lot of people in the league. He gets traded to Dallas Mavericks. First of all, being that you in Dallas and you know the Dallas situation probably better than all of us, tell me what your thoughts are on him being traded to Dallas and how you see it shaking up the West.
It's going to shake things up. Luka Doncic and him have to work the same magic that Kyrie and LeBron worked. They put a lot into this. I guess they've guaranteed him basically the long-term contract that he was seeking from the Brooklyn Nets. That Brooklyn was like, they had stipulations on the contract they were going to give him. He said no. He got another deal. The irony of it is that Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams got into it like one of them got traded. They got into it.
That's true. They did. They did.
Like, dog, I really thought, like, I really believe in my heart that they had a conversation after the show. I was like, wait a second, it's Kyrie. Like, he's the one going to Dallas. Y'all still going to Connecticut or New York. However, like, I don't know what the heatedness got all about. But look, Mark Cuban is taking a shot because Mark Cuban knows this. And everybody in Dallas, I'm back and forth from Jersey to Dallas. Luka Doncic is not Dirk. Luka Doncic is a new generational player. Luka Doncic is not going to waste his prime, his youth on a team that can't get him to the NBA Finals. So Mark Cuban is forced to make decisions to basically sell the future and be like, I'm giving you Kyrie. Here's a reason when your contract is up for you to stay in Dallas. Because if he doesn't, Luka's going to wind up somewhere like a Chicago, maybe a LA, maybe a New York or somewhere like that. He's not Dirk. He's not sitting there riding out for the franchise. Luka Doncic knows right now he has a chance to do some historical stuff in the NBA. So Mark was like, all right, let's roll the dice and let's bring Kyrie in there. And I'm not saying roll the dice on Kyrie's athletic ability. We already know Kyrie is a Hall of Famer. What we're rolling the dice on is that some civil unrest happens and Kyrie says and takes a stand on something. That's what they're worried about. That's what these owners are all scared of because Kyrie is already shown he thinks highly of his life, his personal life, and he places things over basketball. I'm not mad at that, but that's a scary thing when your owner having him as a long-term contract, in a long-term contract.
Okay, T, do you like the Kyrie Irving being traded to Dallas? What's your thoughts?
I like it for Kyrie. I'm sure Dallas likes it because a lot of us forget with Brunson, they went to the Western Conference Final. And that was just last year. So now you replace a Brunson with a Kyrie who's, and no knock to Brunson. Brunson's dope, but he's not Kyrie. Kyrie is an elite player. So you put him with him now this year, and they're saying we're going to the finals. If not this year because we got a midseason, we definitely next year we should be in the finals. And that's how they feel about it. And I like this for Kyrie because here's what's changed in the last, 6-7 years in the NBA. The players have awakened to the point in their business and their personal business of you guys always take care of yourselves, whether you're a coach, whether you're an owner, you guys always take care of yourself. Now it's time for the players to be awake and figure out how they can always look for their future. I'm not going to always play ball, but I need to secure my future. And that's all Kyrie's doing. He would have stayed in Brooklyn had they said, oh, let's do this. Let's extend and do a legit contract. You try to put stipulations in there, which you knew wasn't going to fly with you. If you didn't learn anything in the last 2 seasons with Kyrie, I don't know where the hell you've been, what rock you've been sleeping under. And the fact that he did that, the young man said, I got to secure my future and line my future up right, that I'm okay and taken care of, and demand a trade. And for that reason, I wasn't mad at all.
Okay. Let me ask you, Mo, what's your take?
Yeah, I think Brooklyn was like the some people we were dealing with over the weekend. They just did it to say they did it, so they can't be pushed to say that they didn't offer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They offered just to say, okay, we put the offer on the table and he refused it. But I want to say this now that I got all 3 of y'all here. I told y'all Dallas was gonna make a move for a point guard. Okay, I'm done being petty. So, yeah, they did it. They did it, man.
Why you gotta do that? Yeah,
I felt like he popped me in my forehead. Yeah.
Bro.
Y'all felt it?
Yeah.
That's why I did it. So you can feel it. No, but I don't know. My whole thing is just though with Kyrie. Like everywhere Kyrie goes is always a good fit. Has he ever gone to a team where they say it's not a good fit, but is he gonna fit? Is it gonna work out? That's what we got to wait to see. There isn't a team that he can't go to that's not gonna be a good fit, but is it gonna work out?
Okay.
I'll tell you this about Brooklyn. I bet you they'll never try and piece together a championship again. They tried it when they got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett And then they tried it again with James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Durant.
Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons.
I've never seen a team fail like that so miserably. They only won one playoff series with that squad. That's
Right.
crazy.
And see, what people fail to realize is that recipe, that new manufacturing, I call it, that new manufacturing championship team recipe only works 100% if it's on the terms of the players. The players that made the decision to group up, they have to have the last say so in the power. And you can't get them there because they want to be there, and then you start your executive movements and thinking you running things, because this is what exactly will happen.
Yeah, that's something I didn't see happen. But since today's February 7th, Mike, I'm gonna ask you, do you think Kevin Durant is now the next one out? Because Kevin Durant his name is being now thrown out there with Phoenix, you know what I mean, and a couple other teams. So I guess the big question is, now that Kyrie Irving got traded, will Kevin Durant get traded?
Wouldn't you, if you sitting there doing this? Where everybody go? Everybody going?
Yeah,
like,
but
it's like staying at a party 30 minutes too long. You like, oh, this is a popping. Wait, where you going, T? Mo, where you go? Yo, leaving?
No, there's like a comedy show, and the comics, like one by one, just got a reason they start backing out and saying something ain't right, or the promoter, blah, 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 whatever. And you like come down to the last guy there, you're like, I'm not doing this show.
Yeah, but
Kevin Durant has every reason right now, to be out, because right now, dog, this is like he got played, and I'm not saying personally by the players or whatever, but his business savvy is not where it should be. Like his business savvy, like I thought he was going to look out for himself when he left Golden State. That was a mistake, obviously, in hindsight. But he doesn't. I don't get who his agent is when he demanded a trade. Brooklyn played him like, yeah, whatever. But Kyrie demands a trade and he gets the trade. Like, how does Kyrie get things moving and his people get things moving? But Kevin Durant, who's going to go down as top 3 of our generation, can't make the same thing happen. There's a problem with his team right now. Well, I mean, his personal management team.
Well, Mike, here's the starting 5 right now. If Kevin Durant decides to stay, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, obviously KD, Ben Simmons, and Nick Claxton is all look like they're gonna start for Brooklyn. So he's still in a good position because it's not like they lost too much, and they look like they gained. They could be a better team. Don't you agree?
No, not even close. Because when the playoffs come, you need stars. I don't mean but you need stars who, when things are going poorly, you say you got to handle this. Everything's going poorly. He had Kyrie. Kyrie had Durant. You're telling me he's going to depend on Dinwiddie?
Well, I'm trying to make a conversation. T, what's your thoughts? I'm
trying to make a conversation wise.
That's the funniest thing you can ever hear the host say. I'm just trying to make conversation. I don't believe it. I just you said that, so I got to say this.
Yeah.
I think the hang up is the name. The guy's a good player. Frank has a point. They still gonna be decent, but his name is Dinwiddie.
That's it.
It's just not it don't roll off the tongue. You can't say it in the championship. It's not gonna be in the final. And Dinwiddie has the ball. And Dinwiddie calls it that. And it's almost sound like, then he punched him in the face, and then what'd he do?
Wow.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh man, that's a good one.
Oh, I love silly ass jokes. Then what he do?
And then what he do?
He went to Brooklyn, and then what he do? They made the playoffs, and then what he do?
I'm a tag on this one so he can see this.
Yeah, I'm stuck on that.
I really think he's a good player. I think that here's the thing. He's a solid player, but I think where they differ is obviously, Kyrie's a special guy, like athleticism wise, But at the same time, you mix that up with his floor sense as a point guard is kind of elite compared to the other good guards that the league has. And I think you need that, like Mike said, when they get down the stretch and you're in the playoffs and you're big game positions, and that triple team goes over to Durant and, that other guy gets the ball, you want that other guy to be a Kyrie. Right. Because a Dinwiddie is going to get the ball, and for real, most of the time, he's in the back of his mind looking for the star. There's guys that they're good, but they're kind of programmed to look for the star. And then there's guys that's always ready to step into position in case they need to become the star. That was Scottie Pippen. Scottie knew Mike was star, but I'm here. I'm number 2. And I see that double team on you, kick it out, or let me slash or whatever. A lot of players don't have that instinct. I don't see that in Dinwiddie. I see a very good player, don't get me wrong. But again, Durant's Durant. He's going to command triples and double teams, and other people can't be scared to take over.
Great point. Mo, how you look at it?
Yeah, Brooklyn, once the playoff starts, if they make the playoff, they're going to go down the greasy pole. Pull up, there it is.
The greasy pole is back.
There it is. The greasy pole is back.
The greasy pole.
Cause I mean,
so pornographic.
and like, it ain't nothing but my back scratcher, man.
Jesus, that looks crazy, right there.
But
it ain't nothing but my back scratcher. Women say that this is my massager. Yeah, okay.
But because like Mike said, they need stars there when the playoffs start. I mean, he got some great role players, but I mean, we see with role players and they just get rolled out the playoffs because they just role players. That's it. They done. I mean, Kyrie might have did better going to Dallas than going to the Lakers because he gets a point guard for a coach. They stuck with the same coach they got in Brooklyn. I wasn't impressed with his coaching skills anyway. Okay. Durant, hopefully Durant is willing to ball because we know the one thing he's willing to do over everything else is just play ball. That's all he want to do is play ball. He don't want to go to the barbershop. He don't want to take a shower. He don't want to do nothing. He don't want to go shopping. He just want to play ball.
Hey, Frank, can I ask you a quick question? Because I don't want to intrude if you have this as a question. But there was a rumor that your Celtics were thinking there was a rumor that they would give up Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. Would you do that trade if you're the Celtics?
No.
Okay.
You wouldn't do it. Why not?
Why wouldn't I do it? Age. Kevin Durant got what? 2 more years? Jaylen Brown got a good 10 more years. I wouldn't do it.
So you don't believe you're one of those guys because that's funny because all the leagues right now, baseball, football, and basketball, are split. You got half the guys that would sacrifice something like what Mike just proposed if you knew you can get a chip now. And then you got guys that think like Frank said, no age. He got a couple more years, and this guy's got the future. Do you bank on the quickest you can get a chip or to the chip as opposed to the future?
Yeah, me personally, I think I could get there with Jaylen Brown. I think I could get there with Jaylen Brown. We got there last year. I think we can win with Jaylen Brown. And I know we would win with Kevin Durant, but I wouldn't make that trade. I wouldn't do it personally. So
I would make the trade.
You would?
Because I think you guys could win back-to-back championships if
right.
Kevin Durant was there.
Yeah.
And I like Jaylen Brown. I'm a Jaylen Brown fan.
Well, I love him.
So you're saying Celtics can't get back-to-back championships? All right.
You could. You guys are a good team. I just think you would be significantly better than everybody else in the East for the next 3 years. I think the next 3 years, you guys would be in contention to win those championships. And you're in contention now. I would have to put the money on Boston if Durant was there.
And with Tatum, he can take the load off of Durant.
All right, so let me ask you guys this: there was a fight in the NBA. Let's see, was it Friday night? And it was between Mo Bamba and Austin Rivers, and the fight got really ugly, really fast, and everything else. A couple of players were ejected 2 games, a couple of players were ejected 3 games, and everything else. Mike, what's your take on the fight between Austin Rivers? Oh, I misspelled it wrong. Austin Rivers and Mo Bamba, and how you think the NBA should be handling it right now? Because the NBA seems to be really upset about what happened over the weekend.
Because the NBA has every right to be upset. This is not the time. we're far removed from Christmas. We're heading towards the playoffs, and you don't want this to be the headlines and the first story on ESPN Sports Center, on FS1, and all that other stuff. I get why they're upset. This is money time. This is when they get the attention. We're big basketball fans. Do we watch basketball before Christmas? Yes, we do. Are we like planning like at 8 o'clock? I got to be in front of the TV. Now, everybody's starting to get their focus. Super Bowl's about to happen. That's about to be over. And the main stage belongs to the NBA. This is not what they want. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if these NBA players have started to get a little edgy and started listening to these old school cats who were saying, you guys play soft. The league is soft. And all of a sudden, everybody's like trying to turn up. I don't know, but I get why the NBA is upset. This is not the time for this. This is time for finding out if your team could make the play-in, make the playoffs, and do all that stuff. So I get it. And I'm never on the side of the owners. But I'd have a meeting too, like, no, we got to make an example out of this.
Yeah. So I guess the next question is T, do you think that the fines that came down with levied was enough, not enough, or where your take at it? Because honestly, when you have a player who fights, who comes off the bench and fighting, I think that's a problem.
Well, first of all, it's very hostile names, Mo. It's a hostile name, Mo. We got a Mo on the show, pointing, trying to fight people. I think the thing, take a page out of old school and let them finish scrap. And then, depending on who get their ass whooped, then figure out the suspensions. What if you let them finish? You go, okay, you see who it is, you hand your texts out during the game, you put them in the locker room. As soon as it's over or halftime, you go in there and just them like duff it out. And whoever get their ass whooped, according to how you got your ass whooped, is how I'm going to penalize you. You got your ass whooped. That's 10-game suspension, and we want $100,000.
If you get knocked out, you out for the season.
We want $100,000. Exactly. I think they take a page out of old school. You remember back in the day, you get in a fight, and then your mother, if you had the right parents, like tough love, they just like, everybody off. Go ahead. And you really didn't want to fight. You actually enjoyed the people who break it up. So you're doing all that extra, trying to reach over, like, don't hold me. All right, don't hold him. Hey, and then what he do?
And then what he do? Oh man.
Yo.
They take the hands off you, Franco. Go ahead and fight. And then what he do?
That's all I heard.
Call my mother. But I think that's what they should do, man. I think because here's what's happening, and Mike got a good point. It is a generational thing, but it's a generational thing to the point of these guys are so young. They basketball's already temperamental and emotional. Your tempers can flare easily. When you're young, you got less self-control. So it's easier to pop off and do what you got to do. And, young cats, man, their mouth is crazy.
Yeah.
There's a whole different level of trash talk going on out there. And probably this one hitting this one girl or this one trying to disrespect this one's mother or whatever. All that's going on behind the scenes. I just think that, you got to go hard at first because this is seeming to be a new I don't give a F trend going on because this is 2 fights in the same week.
Yeah, it is.
This is a couple of days apart, back to back, bang, bang. So it's like for the league's sake, make an example early so that people think twice and 3 times going down for the future.
Great point. Mo, what's your take?
You know what? I think the fines were stiff because the league is pissed to the fact that the league is not being itself this year. They sat them. I can see Adam Silver sitting them down right now. Look at y'all two. They don't even. When the last time we even talked about Austin Rivers? Does he even play? And Mo Bamba, and not all the Mo's are aggressive. Remember that all Mo's ain't aggressive.
He poked me again.
But like Adam Silver is like we got Kyrie acting a fool. We don't know what's happening over in Philadelphia. He flipping out. He's like, you two want to get into a fight, and y'all ain't even starters. You can't fight if you ain't a starter. If you want to reserve, you can't be throwing no punches. You can shove somebody, but you can't be fighting if you ain't starting.
And I could have told you Austin Rivers was a ticking time bomb ever since he got traded by his dad. Like,
Hey, That's hilarious.
When your
It's true.
dad trades you, you know you got some built up resentment. You trying to take it out on something. Like I'm fighting somebody.
And he
Who's
shut him
somebody?
down.
Ain't
He
nothing
shut him
special about
down.
that. All of us had our parents tell us, you got to get out of this house.
Very true. Very, very true. All right, so Steph Curry got injured over the weekend too, Mike. So I guess the big thing is with being used. How much do you think the Steph Curry injury is going to affect them? Because he's supposed to be out for the next 3 weeks. Everything else. What's your thoughts on the Steph Curry injury?
Well, I thought the ship was sinking until Klay Thompson decided he was going to hit 3,500 3-pointers out of nowhere and put up a 40-something spot. But I still think they're in trouble, even though the schedule is kind of leaning towards they might be able to survive this. But I think Golden State was a 500 team with Steph Curry. If they can hold on and maybe still be a 500 team, I still don't think they're going to, like, people really believe that this team is going to turn it on in the playoffs. If they do, then I'll be the first one to say I'm wrong. I just think there's a fundamental problem going on with Golden State, just like Phoenix, that's going to be exposed during the playoffs. And Steph is a valuable piece. They could fall apart. I don't see Klay Thompson having another 11 3-pointer game anytime soon, but he did. So he shut us up for a night.
What's your take on this, T?
I'm with Mike. I don't know about all that cutting things on or whatever, because I'm watching teams in the Western Conference cutting on now. You know what I mean? So I don't, bank on that or whatever the case may be. But we all know, we've seen this before, that when Steph goes down, it's way different than the other guys. Like, we've watched Draymond go out for a little while. We've watched Klay go out for a hell of time. And they were even able to do some things with Klay not. Even when he came back, he wasn't 100%. He wasn't the Klay we knew. And they were still able to do things. But Steph is that master link in the chain, if you will, that it just can't rock without him.
Right. All right. I think that's a great point. Mo, what's your take?
Yeah, whether Steph is in or whether Steph is out, they're still not going to be a contender for a ring. They're not going to, because their defense is not the same. If you remember, a lot of their offense came from their defense, and their defense is not clamped down tight like it was. So, I mean, I mean, of course, they're going to hurt without Steph, but they weren't going to go too far anyway because unless they tighten up that defense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's continue on. Let me take this out. We got now talk about the NFL. First biggest news in the NFL, here where we at, is that the Raiders today are allowing Derek Carr to speak with teams. Now, we all know Derek Carr's situation. Derek Carr's in a great situation, Mike, as you know, because if he gets stuck on the team for another 3 or 4 more days, he gets guaranteed a huge amount of money. I think it's like $25 million. If he gets released, he still gets a large lump sum. He's going to parachute, but he gets the biggest news about this, Mike, is he gets to jumpstart the free agency thing early ahead of everybody. So if that happens, where do you think he's going to land at? Because he's jumpstarting the free agency market, Mike. Where do you see him landing at?
Man, that's a good question. Because if I'm Derek Carr, he's got a no-trade clause, which is the ultimate.
Right.
He's got a no-trade clause, which he can stop anything from happening. So he basically can hand them 4 or 5 teams that he wants to go to. Damn, who would he go to?
Especially in the situation he's in now. Let's not forget that. You know what I mean? Because he's jump starting the free agency term market. You're ahead of everybody. So he could go to the Jets. He could go to Tennessee. He could go to wherever Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna go. Like he's ahead of everybody.
If I'm looking to really contend, I would take a leap of faith on the Jets because of what their defense does. I would take a leap of faith and sitting there going, like, if I can manage as a quarterback to get this team to 24 points a game, chances are I'm winning 9 to 10 games automatically without taking into consideration injuries and stuff like that. But if I'm just going for the check, I'm going. No, if it's just the money, and the Texans are willing to give me an outrageous amount of money.
Right.
And they're willing to put me on some Deshaun Watson level, maybe not the same amount, but in that range, then I'll probably go there. But it would probably be the Jets. And that would be it. I can't think anybody needs a quarterback. Arizona put all that money on the Smurf, and now they stuck with Kyler Murray for so I can't San Francisco. if San Francisco doesn't
Jeez, I was
believe in
gonna say
Purdy,
that.
if San Francisco doesn't believe in Purdy and doesn't believe in homie that they drafted,
Trey
then I would
Lance.
take a shot at San Francisco. San Francisco, if I could say it. Yep,
Yeah.
that would be it.
Okay. So T.
Yep.
Derek Carr is getting ready to jump ahead of the free agency market. You know what I mean? After free agency really starts after the Super Bowl. He can start right now in 4 or 5 days. Where do you think Derek Carr will land? Do you think he's going to land on your beloved Jets? Do you think he'll go into the Panthers? Do you see him? I mean, there's a lot of places he could go. Where do you see him land?
What's the name of that supermarket Kurt Warner worked at?
Oh, I don't even know.
Why?
Yeah, why? Good question.
You said where I think he's going to go.
It was called Purity Supreme.
He's going to be head cashier at that supermarket. Ain't nobody went there.
He going to the A&P?
Derek Carr. Well, correction, because you do have a couple of teams out there that, crap luck, just boom, try your luck, throw them crack table. I don't think that is not going to be any major move or any team that's a super contender, because all the real contenders right now, other than like you said, like the Jets who have half of the game on lock and the other half discombobulated. Other than that type of team, there's nowhere for them to really go make any significant thing. I think the team to watch is San Fran. Now, San Fran looks like a quarterback gambling team to me. So I wouldn't doubt San Fran surprising people in the offseason with some quarterback shenanigans or whatever. But other than that, you got to go back to the teams like the Jaguars and the teams that are unhappy with the quarterbacks like that are bouncing around, because some of these teams every 2 years are changing quarterbacks. There's about 4 teams you can count that they're about 2 years, 3 tops, and they on to the next quarterback. But now I don't see him being that playmaker of a quarterback of a move. You know what I mean? Derek Carr to me is kind of real super mediocre, bro.
Okay. All right. Who you see at, Mo?
Yeah, I initially said the Jets a long time ago, and I was chastised.
Absolutely.
But it still looks good. And I was going to say San Francisco. I was going to say San Francisco, but, sitting here really thinking, I think the Colts might be one spot that we're not even talking about we can land. They don't have a quarterback.
Or Tampa Bay Bucks. Go to Tampa Bay Bucks.
It could be Tampa, but will he go to Tampa Bay before he go to the Colts? I mean, Tampa Bay is kind of falling apart at the seams. The Colts right now look a little bit better than Tampa Bay to me. Not on the team wise, but for him to go there, we can't say what kind of quarterback he is. We thought Ryan Tannehill was a bust when he was in Miami. Then he went to Tennessee and started lighting it up. You never know what somebody's going to do in a different situation.
Yeah,
Frank, since you bring up quarterbacks, I brought a top 5 because this is the first Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I got a top 5. You know how whoever wins, they say, where you going? They say Disney World. These are black quarterbacks. They're not going there. I got the top 5 places the black winning quarterback going to go. Let me know when you want.
I want that. Go ahead, give it to me.
You want it right now? All right. Top 5 places. When they come up that microphone, no matter who wins, it's going to be a black quarterback. You just won the Super Bowl. Where you going? They're not going to Disney World. Number 5 place they may say they're going, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle.
Yeah.
They're going to get some of them chicken waffles. Number 4, they're going to Broadway to watch The Color Purple. This is a black quarterback. We're not going to Disney World. Number 3, they're going to Atlanta for the International Spades Tournament next month.
Yeah.
These are young black quarterbacks, bro. Number 2, I guarantee you, quarterback that win the Super Bowl, he going to the BET Awards. You can't stop him.
Yeah.
He's going to be up for award and everything, Sportsman of the Year, whatever. And the number 1 place the black quarterback who win the Super Bowl is going, Wakanda forever.
Okay.
He going to Wakanda forever, brother. Trust me.
Good.
Top 5 place.
I like it. I like that top 5. I like that top 5, T.
And a bonus one is child support court because after that game, their value goes way up. Whoever wins. And baby moms are gonna be like, we're gonna renegotiate. I don't even know if these guys got kids.
Hey, Mike, you didn't hear me say Wakanda? You go to Wakanda, so you go to court.
So you ain't gotta go to court. Listen, the other place they going to the check casher. Cash that Super
All
Bowl.
right, so
Cash
let me
that
ask
Super
you
Bowl
this.
check.
What's y'all thoughts on Sean Payton getting Denver right? Because Sean Payton obviously got hired, and then he when he came in, he told everybody what he getting ready to do. And one of the things he's getting ready to do is he's getting ready to set things right. What's your take on Sean Payton getting things right?
First thing he said was, Russell Wilson and your little quarterback coach that you got, you ain't Tom Brady. Bill Belichick didn't leave Tom Brady and his little trainer and all that other stuff. He said that's over. Now I don't know about his office and his parking spot, but I got a funny feeling Russell Wilson ain't got no office in that stadium either, because Sean Payton is like, there's gonna be one dude that's gonna be the leader of this team. There's gonna be one office that you need to come in. There ain't gonna be an office. You ain't gonna have an office next to me. We're not gonna share the same fax machine. We're not gonna do none of that. This is my spot.
Fax machine.
You don't have an assistant. I have an assistant. Don't ask my assistant to make copies for you. Don't do none of that. I don't want to see your agent, your publicist, and you know what, Sean Payton. Sure, I don't want to see your wife. I don't want to see Era doing. We're gonna remove that TikTok room that y'all got that everybody makes the videos in. We're removing it. And Sean Payton is absolutely right, dog. If I'm the head dude in charge, I'm the one who has all that. You're gonna be the star player. Obviously, you're the quarterback. But all that extra stuff, he shut that down immediately, which means the first coach was feeling pressure. And that's why what I saw on TV today, and I haven't watched TV in a while, ESPN or whatever, I didn't know that when they traded for Russell Wilson, the guy that stepped to Russell Wilson on the sidelines, one of the guys that got traded was his boy. So he couldn't wait to get at Russell Wilson. So Sean Payton is cutting the legs under Russell Wilson and bringing him down a peg and saying, you right here. But I'll get rid of you next year if you don't show improve this year. There's no excuses. So I agree with the dude.
I 100% agree too. What's your take on this, T?
Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing. The same way we waiting to see if he show improve, this year is audition for both of them. You as a coach coming in, is it the team? Was it the coaching? So this year is going to be an audition and a tell-all for both sides of that argument. So Peyton, if this team comes in next year, ship shape, look like a totally flip-flopped team, okay, you're a bona fide real coach. You did your thing. But if Russell comes in and he's playing better and still losing, both of y'all might be on the chopping block.
Oh, you think both of them? Okay.
Bro, I'm telling you right now that Peyton is a name. We have to see some drastic change immediately. I'm not saying they got to go to Super Bowl in one season, but it has to be drastic. You see how bad it was this year?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't know. I think Sean's going to get one good bonus year if everybody doesn't do well. What's your take on this, Mo? What's your take?
Yeah, I don't see Sean Payton out after 1 year. In the words of one of the greatest boxers ever, that's simply ludicrous. It's not going to be happening. Now we can see Russell being out. Sean came in, he shut it down. Listen, this is my house, and this is how I'm running it. He came in like DM Run. Whose house? Peyton's house. Straight like that.
Yeah, I can't even disagree with you on that one, Mike. Mo. So in other news, let me take this off. In other news, Brian Flores got hired as the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, literally 18 months after this big, stuff that happened with him. Then he went to, Pittsburgh for a hot second. He's getting ready to sue the league and all that stuff. 18 months later, he's now the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator. Mike, Sean, what's your take on that, man? You like it?
I mean, I like it. I wish Brian Flores would have got a head coaching job with the openings that were out there. And I get it. He got to pay bills and he got to keep his family together. The one bonus is that the Vikings defense was horrible last year. So he's definitely going to improve it. And I think he's sitting there waiting in the wings that if I improve this defense and this and they still don't win playoff games and go to the NFC Championship, that I hate to say it, but in the back of his mind, he's like, the head coach gets fired and I improve this defense and they know I've been a head coach and I've been successful, that maybe he'll be able to get that job. But I still don't understand why he's not a head coach in this league. I know why. I mean, he's suing the NFL, so I know why. I'm dumb. My bad. I know why, because he caused trouble. and it's hard enough for a black head coach to happen. But if you causing trouble, you trying to get bread off the NFL, I can see how that makes it a lot more difficult. So, I answered my own question. My bad.
There it is. T, what's your take on this, T? After Michael Sean answered his own question?
My bad. I talk to myself a lot.
Yo, the way he said, the way he just exited that joint was crazy. And my bad. Listen, no, he's right though. He's 100% spot on. Where that's what I first thought that came to my mind when you said that is like coordinator. Why not head coach? A lot of openings. A lot of people need that head coach. But like Mike said, we also understand. You know, you call it's funny that phrase cause trouble.
Yeah, I sounded white.
but it's a funny phrase because all you got to do to get that label is go against the grain or snitch or stir something up. Yo, he caused trouble. You come in there calling like you see it. Hey, man, what you doing with your penis out? He's causing trouble. Ain't nobody else say nothing. Here he come with it. You know, but no, I agree. I think he's definitely probably got to pay those dues for a little while. For causing trouble. And then people got to forget about that for a little while before they start looking at him head coach again. You got to pay bills. You got to keep it, and nothing wrong with staying around that realm. You know, you don't take a side job that got nothing to do with football. Stay in football because your time will come again.
Yeah. Mo, your take.
Yeah, Brian, listen, he ain't headlining, but he's still featuring. That's all he need to know. He ain't headlining, but he's still featuring. He ain't got a host. He ain't got to open, but he can't headline right now. I think they might send him down to the Negro League, the XFL.
Nah, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that. But it was borderline that for a hot second. It was borderline that for a hot second.
Listen, one wrong move, he might go.
Yeah. Speaking of head coaching, Mike, here's a proposal. Eric Bieniemy, who has been the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 5 years. Now look what the Chiefs have done. They've been in the AFC Championship game for, I think, 5 years straight. They went to the Super Bowl 2 times. They won 1 time. And Eric Bieniemy hasn't even, to this point, has still not got a head coaching job offer. You know what I mean? He's interviewed, but still not had a head coach job offer. What's your take on, I mean, obviously, it's because he's a black head coach, which is horrible. But what's your take on this, bro?
He is the lowercase version of Kareem trying to be a head coach in the NFL, in the NBA. It's not going to happen unless Andy Reid hands you the baton. And there has been some speculation that if Andy Reid were to win the Super Bowl this year, that he may step down. I think that's his hope. I think his last hope is that Andy Reid trusts him. Andy Reid believes in him. And for some reason, he can't get over the fact that people believe Andy Reid is calling all the offensive plays. Even though Andy Reid has come out and said Eric Bieniemy is a huge part of game planning and calling plays during the game, nobody cares. So I really believe, as bizarre as it is, as much success as they've had, I know we're playing a race card a lot. It's Black History Month, but this is not playing a race card. If there was a white offensive coordinator who had been part of what the Chiefs have done and what Patrick Mahomes has done and how he's improved and how sensational this offense has been, even without Tyreek Hill, this should be the moment where teams go like, yo, they lost Tyreek Hill and that offense was still potent and still went to the Super Bowl. That should have been the clincher. He should be able to pick after Sean Payton what team he goes to. I think his last hope is that Andy Reid hands him the reins at Kansas City. I don't think he's going to be a head coach other than Kansas City.
I think you're absolutely right. I don't think he's going to get a head coach no matter what he does. Even if he wins, he wins the Super Bowl, loses the Super Bowl, he's still not going to get consideration. T, what's your take?
No, I mean, I'm going to echo the same thing. He's right. After all he did, especially if this year, if you don't look at this year and raise those accolades and praises and, push him towards the head coaching job of what's, changed for Mahomes and the improvement, I don't know what else you can do, bro. I mean, this is how we know it's something other than that is that holdback to keep you coordinated and not head coach.
But they can't make you hire, like they can't force you to hire him. That's the problem. They can't.
No, you can't. I mean, if we bring up this Black History thing, I'm going to tell you what they're going to say. I've been working with white people my whole life. They're going to say, we gave you 2 quarterbacks.
We gave you, yup.
You got a Super Bowl, which is in the middle of Black History Month, and look at Mo, in the middle of Black History Month, two nigga quarterbacks. I gave you that. Don't you talk to me about no other job.
This boy crazy.
They got two that quarterback, and they gave Rihanna the halftime show. What else do you want
me? I'm letting Jay-Z hang out with these big ass dreads at my games. What do you want me to do?
And we let you have Snoop Dogg Crip Walk last year.
Yeah, we got you a lot. Damn Negroes. Never happy. Never happy. Give them oatmeal, they want grits.
They don't even call them Negro. They sitting there like damn darkies.
Mo, what's your take on Eric Bieniemy not being a head coach?
It's messed up, man. You know, it hurts. It hurts when you see somebody who deserves to be somewhere and they're not getting what they deserve. And it just shows you how that no matter what, man, no matter what system that you're in, when you're a brother, you got to do extra to show that you're worthy. You know, and when does it get to a point where Eric just doesn't care and he doesn't want to do it no more and loses the luster, you know, and doesn't want to do it, because that's what happens when you knock a man's spirit down every time he gets turned down. Like, no. Like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This next story is going to be something that's going to be interesting. Interesting to me. It says there's a record 50.4 million adults are expected to bet 16 billion on the Super Bowl, Mike, most ever bet in Super Bowl history. Now, we already know, you know, some things are not going to disrupt the NFL card. What's your take on this amount of money being bet on the Super Bowl, Mike?
Oh, and then y'all want to say me and Talon are crazy when we say things is rigged and that things are getting done for specific reasons. So all that money don't affect anything that goes on in the NFL. That's what you're telling us. Because in my life, money affects everything. But for some reason, the NFL can make 16 billion on one game.
Yeah.
On one game. And you gonna tell me that if there's a holding call on the team in the fourth quarter with 1:20 left, and the holding call is against the team that the NFL's narrative wants to win, you're gonna tell me that doesn't affect an official going, I'm not calling that right now. Like this is all. Let me tell you something. I have a saying: a genius is somebody who has mastered common sense, because common sense sometimes is the hardest thing to grasp. It's right in our face all the time. The gambling money went from Pete Rose not being in the Hall of Fame for gambling to these leagues realizing how much money they can make off of gambling. And now they're in, and they stick a freaking team in Las Vegas. Of course, all this money affects how football is officiated, how things are taken, what things are taking place and what things are not taking place. Come on. It's right there.
That was a beautiful soliloquy, as Stephen A. would say, Michael Sean. I like the way you said that.
Thank you.
My man T, how you look at Super Bowl betting history, since you one of the people who bet on Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you, like a brother told me, cash rule everything around me.
So the money.
With that being said, to my man Mike Sean, common sense ain't that common.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even know why they call it common sense, because a lot of people, like he said, don't use it. But yeah, I mean, I think we crazy when we say, man, they doing this, they doing that, and they trying to fulfill a narrative, and they Vegas knows the numbers. We don't. We just know what we bet on, and Vegas knows what everybody bets on. And then they look at the numbers and go, you know what? We make this many billion if this team win. We make this many billion if this team win. I think we're gonna go with this team. We make 2 billion if the Eagles win, but we make 22 billion if the Chiefs win. You guess who's gonna win that game?
All right, so I guess the thing is, T, who you think is the NFL's leaning towards to win the game? You think it's for the Chiefs or the Eagles?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think it's the Chiefs for several reasons. I think you have somebody right now who's halfway built his legacy. They're gonna look at it like, Hurts still got time whatever. Patrick's in the middle of this legacy already. He's got the numbers. He's got the Super Bowl. He got the championship game appearances. And this season happened to be his perfect storm for him personally. So I think you go with that. That's a better story at the end of the day. And we know Philly's a lot more blue collar. And to me, I just think, that NFC East, like other than Jerry Jones piling in a boatload of money to keep his thing abreast, they don't care for them East Coast teams.
Yeah.
You got to really work hard and win that thing on your own. Like, if you leave it up to the league, they're going with the gloss and the glamour. Right now, who's a household name? Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid.
100%. Mo, what's your take on the Super Bowl betting history? What's your take?
Yeah, man. You know what? It's a lot of. I'm trying to figure out how I can put on a sporting event and try to get everybody to bet on it. I don't know, cabbage bowl, something, but cornhole, dice game, yeah, CeeLo, shooting ducks, but yeah, you know what? I hear y'all saying they're scripted. I don't see Kansas City winning this. They're not. They're not gonna win this. It's gonna go to the Eagles. The Eagles are gonna win this because they cannot stop the run in Kansas City. Spagnolia has been a great defensive mind. Y'all remember he was with the Giants. We did everything except stop the run. But they are building up Kansas City because they're saying the one weakness that Philadelphia had is that they were 24th in the league also in stopping the run.
Well, it's going to be a good game to watch. But here's a question for you, Mike. Will Jalen Hurts be the first $500 million quarterback because he's going for a contract extension immediately after the Super Bowl right now? So he's trying to get his contract extended before his contract expires. So will he be the first $500 million quarterback? And are we going to go that way, or will we go back? Because we dealing the whole thing with my man from Baltimore. We're dealing with that. So,
no, first of all, you got to give me how many years it's going to be. But $500 million, I think he can win the Super Bowl. 10 years. So what's that?
$500 million, $50 million a year.
$50 million a year. If he wins the Super Bowl.
If he wins the Super Bowl.
If he wins. See, the problem is that Jeffrey Lurie would want to give him the money, but it's the pressure from the other owners who's saying, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
like what are you doing?" That's another reason why he might not win. They might not win the Super Bowl. But the other owners are going like, "No, we're setting this standard where if my quarterback wins the Super Bowl, you're talking about $50 million. I don't even know how much of the salary cap that would be per year."
Well, they just raised the salary cap number just now, literally a week ago. They raised that purposely. So if they raise that cap purposely because they want you to pay more to QBs, they're trying to help all the other owners out. And that I think that's like because of the Lamar Jackson situation. That's what I think. But,
he would have to win the Super Bowl. If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, he's not going to get $50 million a year. Not saying he don't deserve it, but anything's possible. In this league, in the sports arena, anything. It's not like the owners ain't got the money. The owners have the money to pay this. So
yeah, they're good.
I'm not saying he shouldn't get it. I'm just saying I would bet against him getting $500 million. I don't know. I guess if Deshaun Watson can make that money off of getting massages, why shouldn't Jalen Hurts make that money off of winning a Super Bowl?
That's the question. So, T, that's the question. Will Jalen Hurts be the first QB to reach $500 million because he's up for a contract extension right now, T? Do you think he'll
shut up? I don't think so. You don't either. You heard the dog. She don't think so. We don't think like. Nah, I think we've seen them cause a funk about it, so I think it's those big money days are done. The NFL's trying to get away from that. So you could cancel that. I mean, 500 is too much for the NFL. They let you know that. They in an uproar, by giving them that money in Cleveland, made everybody else mad.
Okay, so you think no? Okay, Mo, do you think Jalen Hurts will be the first $500 million QB?
Nah, man, they're not gonna give that boy no $500 million. That's why they didn't give. I'm with Mike Shaw. That's why they didn't give. What's that down in Baltimore? That $200 and something million. Because the owners they pressuring because they know once one does it, then it's over for the rest of them. cats is gonna be holding out like, I need this, I need that. You got to give me this. I'm better than him. So nah, he ain't gonna get no 500 million. It's gonna be a long time before we see that.
And if he gets 500 million, what the hell are the Chargers going to pay Justin Herbert when his contract's up?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. These are questions we all got to figure out and see it comes up, man. But we get into that space because Patrick Mahomes is at 450 million for what, 12 years? So he's there now. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all, that's the show. Tomorrow we're going to have a great conversation. We're going to talk about possible potential NFL MVP of the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about more, obviously, the Super Bowl because tomorrow's midweek. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We got to start focusing more on the Super Bowl coming up. Got a lot of questions. And then I want to ask all these guys what their take is on the Black QB Super Bowl. I want to figure out who they think is going to be the head QB who's going to come out on top. I think we win either way. So that's an interesting take.
That sounds, because that's the words of a man that ain't bet. We don't win either way.
Yeah, we don't win either way.
Whatever I bet on, there's only one way that got to go for me to win. I'm not going to lose 2,000 and be like, but black, we won. We got the black. No, I won my money. We don't live in this house.
And I'm black, and I'm black, and I'm black. And I'm black, and I'm black.
Because I'm black, y'all.
See, tell everybody how they can follow you, bro. What else you got going on?
Hey, follow me, man. Talent the Comedian on Instagram. It's just comedy on Twitter. NY King Talent Harris on Facebook. Your boys in the ATL this weekend. 4 shows Friday and Saturday, putting it down at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, the new location at the Underground. So doing 4 shows there for the weekend. Come support. See your boy, man. Making it happen.
And thank you for Sunday, man. T tore it up the Sunday, man. You did a good job.
Man. Great job, man. Great job. Had nothing but fun. Class act you put together. You booked a great show, an ensemble of comedians. The audience was there for the movie, and we just had a good time, man. That's what it's all about. Fig, thank you for getting Fig out. Fig don't get out much.
Yeah, I see you don't get out much. Mike Shaw, everybody out there to follow you.
Follow me at Mike Shaw Comedy. The first show's in the books for the CW33. It happened last Saturday. Thank y'all for all the response that y'all gave me. 12:30 CW33 in Dallas, Fort Worth. Shout out to y'all. In the morning, hit me up. Make sure you check out the morning show on Media Room 360 on YouTube. And we'll talk about how I have proof that the Grammys were sponsored by the devil.
Whoa!
What?
Michael?
What?
He threw me on that one. More.
Check it out. Check it out. I got the video that we're playing tomorrow.
Okay. Come on, everybody had to follow you.
Yeah, always Mo_comic on Instagram. Mr. Sit Your Ass Down, SITCHO on TikTok. I'm definitely gonna be putting up some new videos tonight. And also Sunday was a great time. And this weekend you can catch me in Boston and North End. I'm in Portsmouth, New Hampshire on Friday, and I'm at Off Cabot in Beverly, Mass on Saturday.
That's the show, guys. Thank y'all for following us. The show will be going again tonight and a repeat at 7 and 11. It's called Box Seats. We come back on tomorrow at 1 Eastern Standard Time. That's Mike. That's T. That's Mo. Rodney Perry will be back this week too, and maybe Dave, because Dave wants to talk. I'm sure Dave will talk about the hype with the Eagles.
He'll be on Friday.
I noticed how Dave ain't been around since the Knicks ran through them boys.
And
beat them boys. Hold up.
Yo,
matter of fact, we 2-0 against the box seat team. We got the Celtics and the Sixers. Who's next?
Oh Lord, here we go. Let's see what happens with the end of the season. That's when we tally up who won many wins for the season and when where we move on. Let's see what happens.
I just want you to know this one: if you don't win the last game of a season, it's all a failure.
It don't even matter. All we had to we served our purpose. We whooped Boston's ass, so Frank was stuttering. That's all we need. You was stuttering. That's all we need. And then
boys.
Dave ain't gonna be on the show for another week. What?
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, y'all. We out of here, man. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right, peace.